starting out the day in this big devil. Sitting here letting it warm up. It's just Dad and I up here today. Every other day Kenny's got a kidney dialysis, so work for him right now is very limited. So he'll be back up here tomorrow. But Dad and I are up here today. We're going to do some cutting, probably do some bucking on this big pile. Get a big pile. I don't like to let the deck go too long without bucking, because next thing you know, you've got an all-day chore and just getting your logs bucked up. And that, to me, that is the worst part of cutting timber, is bucking logs. I absolutely hate working the log deck. That is a chore and a punishment in itself. Trees. So Dad's over here to our west, we'll just say that. I'm gonna start this big rough devil right here. I think there's one more up there that I've got to push on with a skidder. Unfortunately, these big things here are cottonwood. They can definitely look deceiving from a distance. Oftentimes they do look like walnut from a distance, but there's nothing like the heartbreak of thinking you're seeing big walnut, then you get there and see it's big cottonwood. Now these still have quite a few leaves left on them, but in the coming weeks there won't be any leaves, and that's when they can get real tricky. Let's get this guy on the ground. Got a few up here in the very corner. A couple there. This one, still a good one standing. One hung up right there. You get up in this hedge and hackberry, it gets thick. These walnuts sometimes it's pretty easy for them to hang up. And it's not always bad to hang up. Sometimes it's the best thing for it that way. If they got a big wide crotch on them like this thing here, you can kind of control the speed of the fall on the way down. That way you don't run a risk of busting that, especially in the wintertime when it's cold. These things get real brittle. They will pop right open. Might be hard to get out in one piece. It's got a crotch in it up here. What's that big tree I cut last week? A lot of footage in that thing, a lot of high dollar footage in that thing. It's probably got, I'd say, at least 28 foot of good log in it, maybe 30. Then quite a bit more above that, lumber grade material. On the far east end of the farm, Kenny's in the 648. Just kind of putting that walnut in a centralized location. Dad on the Ranger, he's been bucking logs this morning. Now these trees over here, the landowner, she just wants us to drag the tops here to the edge of this field so she can work them up herself. No problem there, gladly do it. Kenny's got two more in there. Drag out, then we'll head up to the far end you see up there past the skidder. Then we still got the other side of this ditch to cut. I think the days that I have to run the skidder and cut logs both are probably the most tiring, and it feels like I get nothing done on days like that. It seems like you're just climbing on and off the skidder constantly. You're never just steadily cutting trees. Of course, there's days where I'll try to cut a bunch, then drag them and cut and drag, but just, I like it better when I can just go and cut logs and not have to even be on this skidder. Not that it's not a nice skidder. It is. It's definitely the nicest skidder we've ever owned. Good machine, but still, I'd much rather be on the business end of that guy there because I would be behind the wheel of this. So a bit ago I made a road over here for Dad. He wanted to get over there and cut what was there. I think he's got 10 up on the hill for me down. So we're gonna get pretty close to finishing the cutting today. There might just be one or two stragglers tomorrow to cut. See, there's one there he snuck in and got. I was hoping I'd get to cut that one, but you can't leave much for Dad. He's gonna get it if you don't. drone. I know I've been talking about a drone for the last year. I need to just pull the trigger on it. It's amazing. I can buy new skid steers and log loaders and trailers and trucks, but I've yet to pull the trigger on a drone that I'd like to have for videoing. The last two of these in the United States, I'm told. Man, things are crazy right now trying to buy parts, supplies, tires. Two new 30.5, 32 Primexes, 20 plies. I got these from skittertires.org. I follow them on Facebook. Really super easy people to deal with. They were really cheap on tires, like surprisingly cheap. I even saved a little money by picking these up at an XPO Logistics drop-off center, which isn't too far from where I live, so that saved me a little money there because I'm over here in Nevada all the time anyway, so I just brought my pintle hitch with me today. We'll try to get these on here in the week or so to come, but wish I could find two more, but I was told this was it. This is all there is. So we'll get these things chained down. We're going to get home with them. Kind of cool up here in the North Country today. We're here at Corder, Missouri, just east of Higginsville, or outside of Higginsville. We actually went through Higginsville to get here. So cutting some walnut down here along a kind of a drainage ditch, what I call them, here along a crop field. They just retiled this crop field, so in it right now we've got just some cereal rye for a cover crop. Erosion's a big deal up here, so they try to terrace, cover crop, drain tile. They take pretty good care of their dirt up here. This is some high production crop ground, so definitely take care of it. So what we're doing today, it's me and Dad cutting these walnut you see here. Dad's been down through here, I've been up through here. There's some on the other side of this ditch. Not a lot of trees, maybe 20, 22, 24, somewhere in there. Just kind of some fill-in work. This job come up here about, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago. And of course, me being greedy me, I wasn't about to say no to it because there are no high grade trees, but just good trees. I'm gonna move the Ranger here real quick because I'm gonna follow this tree out here where the Ranger's parked. We'll move it down here closer to Dad. I think he's cut some pretty good ones actually. And these trees are a little bigger than they looked when I first looked at them. Now that I'm cutting them, they definitely some noticeable differences in them. Of course, it's always a good thing when it works out that way. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this one down. Then said there's a few over here. You can see some tops right in there. We'll cut those, and there's some we'll have to get on the other side of the ditch there, which that won't be a problem. It might be kind of a inconvenience with the skidder because we'll have to go around, but with the Ranger we'll just ride right around on the road and come out over there and cut them. Today is definitely one of those days I'm glad we've got a cab machine now. This wind up here, well, that'll cut you in two. It's really not too terribly cold temperature wise, but you add this north wind up here because there ain't much to stop it in this part of the world. And, pretty cold, especially when you're soaking wet in sweat. Good way to catch pneumonia. I think we've about got all the cutting done. We're going to start dragging. Dad running alongside of us. Starting to get a pretty good pile. They're coming out pretty fast. Of course, as far as the drag as it is, I'm trying to bring 3 at a time. Top of the old hill here. No stop. Pretty good logs. These things are actually doing a little better than I originally thought they would, which is always a good thing. I didn't think they'd be as big as they are and or as good as they are. I've only cut 2 trees that have cut bad. One of them I just cut about 2 foot off. The other one I had to cut about 4 foot off, and they cleaned up. So really, all in all, it's a decent little bunch of logs. We got the last one in the grapple here behind me. It's about 3:30, so getting kind of on up in the day. I was glad that we could get this job finished today. We got all the cleanup done as well, so they're calling for more rain this week. starting tomorrow night into Wednesday and Thursday, so it was pretty crucial that we jumped on this and got it done. We were actually supposed to go look at timber today in Kansas, but we had to push that back just for this. So a decent little bunch of logs, nothing super high quality in here, but just a good set of lumber. There are a few good pieces. This log in tow here, this tree, it's not terrible. We'll take a look at the deck in a minute. Dad's up here, he's got everything worked out. Hey guys, if you like what you see, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for all of our latest videos.